The idea of a pacifist run in Dark Souls is pretty silly. It's a game about beating bosses after all. Pacifist runs have of course been done before, but the examples I've seen still involve the player directly dealing damage to enemies. However, this will be the case no more. It's possible to beat the game without ever dealing any sort of damage to an enemy yourself, and I'm going to show you how. Let's begin. We're going to start off as a hunter with the Master Key. This first part is going to look very familiar to those of you who watched my least attacks video, but I'll explain what's going on for anyone who hasn't. Run past the demon and get the flask from Oscar. Here's where the hard part begins. You'll want to grab the attention of the first hollow after the boulder trap and get him to follow you back to the ladder at the start. Bait him into falling down, and then quickly run past the door where he was. Grab your bow, then get the following two hollows to follow you back to the ladder. The first hollow will be stuck on the ladder and trap the other two once they fall down. I assume this happens due to the ladder unloading with the hollow on it, but I'm not 100% sure. In any case, the only remaining enemy will be the bow hollow, and there's nothing we can do without either damaging or shoving him, so we'll have to let him be. Equip your bow and armor, and it's time for one of the most annoying parts of this run. True Asylum skip. To do this, we'll want to drop an item at the right corner of the fog gate, angle the camera a specific way, turn forward without moving using the bow, and then enter the fog gate with one input, followed by picking up the item with a second input one frame later. The problem is, until your character fully finishes turning, you can still be hit by the hollow, interrupting the entering animation. To avoid this, you'll want to keep the angle locked in with the bow, and roll in the corner to avoid the arrow as the hollow fires it. From there, perform the fog gate glitch as quickly as possible, and hope for good hollow RNG. With good luck, we'll avoid the next arrow and clip into the wall. Simply wait for your character to rise up and jump over the railing to escape the Asylum attack list. We're going to grab a few things now that we're in Firelink. First the Homeward Bones, next the Zweihander. We don't want it for violence, we just want it because it's a nice heavy object. Grab the humanity off of the well on the way out, then make for the Valley of Drakes. Head all the way through to the bonfire, grab the Grass Crest shield, then go back into the cave and force quit Wrong Warp. You'll load back in at the entrance to New Londo Ruins, and from there you'll want to go to Blight Town. This is where the Zweihander comes in. The easy meme roll setup for getting to the bottom requires a plunge attack, so we'll be using the speedrun setup instead. Roll forward off this beam, then up and to the right twice, followed by one more forward roll and quit out as you touch the ground. For whatever reason, sliding slightly delays lethal falls, and if done right, you'll load back in unharmed. Trigger Quaylag's cutscene after that, and warp out. Immediately wrong warp back to New Londo Ruins, and this time we're going to skip Quaylag. We're going to abuse the game's death cam to prevent Quaylag's fog gates from loading, which will allow us to get past her without a fight. To do this, first follow this path to get onto one of the pillars. Slowly walk off of the ledge to the platform below, heal up, and quit out. When you load back in, jump over the dark spot on the floor to trigger the death cam and avoid the kill plane, then jump over to the branch on the right. Heal up again, and walk down to the lowest point of the branch, where you can safely drop the rest of the way down. You'll now need to navigate your way through the swamp and into Quaylag's boss room. At this point, new objects will stop being loaded, so you'll have to blindly navigate your way to the stable ground of the staircase past the bell. Load back in, ring the first bell, and we're off to ring the second. Carry on to the parish, and our new objective is to rescue Lautrec. Almost everyone knows that Solaire is available for the Gargoyle fight, but some of you may not know that Lautrec is available as well, provided you rescue him and speak to him at Firelink first. Continue backwards through the gate after the parish, and drop down to the room past the stairs. Head up to grab the mystery key, then carry on backwards. Save and quit once you're past the rat room to lose aggro, then let the soldier's violent ways bring his own demise. Now head across the bridge. You won't have to worry about the Drake, as we never triggered his event. Go through Solaire's dialogue so his quest progresses, and we can warp back to the parish. Head up the stairs leading to the Gargoyles, and bait the Balder Knight into attacking so we can get around him. Head over to the left, do the same thing to the second knight, and free Lautrec. Warp back to the parish, and it's time to become human. Or alien in my character's case. Become humanoid, I guess. In any case, take the elevator back to Firelink, speak to Lautrec, and he'll now be available to take on the Gargoyles. Head back up, dodge the Balder Knight again, and hope you get good RNG with the door blocking holo. Once you're up the first ladder, save and quit to lose aggro. Lautrec's summon sign is on the same level, around the other side. Lautrec doesn't realize that violence is not the answer, and will start a fight with the Hollows, so you'll want to wait for him to finish up before proceeding through the fog gate. Solaire on his own often struggles with this fight, but with Lautrec in tow, they usually breeze right through it. Sit back and observe the results of two pairs of violent foes. Ring the bell, and use a bone to warp out. Level up your vitality, but save 1 level worth of souls. We're going to use these souls at Andre to prompt swap from the wooden arrows to the bastard sword, and buy a large stack of them. Bring up another prompt on the sword to store a negative quantity in memory, and from there we can use the brightness dupe to drop a negative amount of humanity to ensure that we have enough for the rest of the run. With the Gate Descends Fortress open, that's where we're headed. The only place on the way to the top that you'd normally use an attack is on this man-serpent to shove him out of the way. If we just bait him into an attack though, you can get around him easy enough. At the top, this archer is sometimes in the way, but if you just wait next to him, he'll eventually move. Head to the tower across from the boss room to summon Tarkus, and again, observe the results. Anor Londo doesn't have any places you'd normally use attacks, just hope you get good RNG at the Guardians, and use the Silver Knight's violent ways against him. Speak to Solaire to continue his quest, then make your way down into the basement to grab Havel's set. Next, you'll want to take the long upper way around the room to get to Solaire's summon sign. This delays alerting the enemies, and makes it less likely Solaire will take a ton of damage before the boss fight. Summon him in, and wait for him to appear before heading into the fight. Now for the actual fight. Our objective is to distract Ornstein while Solaire deals with Smough. Ornstein only tends to switch targets after dodging or charging, so generally as long as you keep his back pointed away from wherever Solaire is, he'll remain focused on you. Solaire, however, occasionally randomly switches targets, and this can lead to disaster. So head into the fight, grab Ornstein's attention, and hope for the best. Once you make it to Phase 2, Solaire isn't likely to last very long, so we'll need to resort to unconventional tactics to win. We're once again going to take advantage of our enemy's violent ways. Equip Pavel's set minus the helmet, and head over to this corner. Next, you'll want to get Ornstein's back facing towards the window. Wait for him to do his grab and wrap around him. As long as he's right up against it, he'll end up clipping through. And as the saying goes, when a door closes, Ornstein falls out of a window to his death. Grab the Lord Vessel and head over to Firelink to place it. We need to continue Solaire's quest, and so we need to do Quelaag's skip for a second time. Once it's done, head over to Quelaag's sister and offer 30 soft humanity to open the shortcut door. Carrying on from there, we'll need to do Ceaseless skip. Shout out to Carson, aka Medic, for the detailed tutorial on how you can do the skip taking minimal damage. The basic idea of the skip is to roll to certain spots along the right side of the lava lake where you don't get burned. Using those spots, it's possible to make it all the way across and survive. I haven't learned the entire minimal damage strat yet, but just learning the beginning makes the skip easy enough. If you're still human, Kirk will invade you as you enter the next section, and you'll want to head into the Fire Sage's arena to get rid of him. From there, continue down to the shortcut door and follow the Chaos Bug to a beautiful view of Lost Izalith. Unfortunately, the bug may have an accident and fall to its death, which, purely by coincidence, saves Solaire's life. Now we need to beat the Centipede demon, but Fire Sage is still in our way. Previously, all methods to skip Fire Sage involved using an attack, but Sand discovered a new method which is completely violence-free. We're going to use the Fog Gate glitch from as far back and to the left as possible from Fire Sage's gate. Line up the top of the shield slot with the line from this pillar, turn forward, and you should end up in the wall when you do the glitch. From there, move down to the end of the wall. If you run at it diagonally, you'll clip through, and you can land on the ledge below. Head to the end of the ledge, walk off, and you'll land on another platform. From there, you can jump across to the ceiling of the Centipede's arena, and get back in bounds. If you're familiar with this game's janky nature, you can probably guess how we're going to get past the demon. Get him over to this corner, let him grab you, and mash buttons to escape. He'll end up in the ceiling and fall to his death just like Ornstein. If only these bosses would just be peaceful. Carry on forward and speak to Solaire once again. Warp back to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire, then do Ceaseless skip again, which should be easy with the orange charred ring, if you don't mess up the drop. In any case, return to the shortcut door, continue forward to Lost Izalith, then turn around and a depressed but alive Solaire will be there waiting for you. Return to Firelink Altar and become human if necessary. Force quit wrong warp to the kiln, and it's time to finish the run. You'll want to head through the kiln like normal up to where Solaire's summon sign is. Save and quit when you get there. This does two things. 1, it gets rid of the knight chasing us. 2, it causes the halberd knight at the end to not spawn. His spawn trigger is much earlier in the level for whatever reason, so this lets us avoid him outright. For the axe knight, violence once again leads to his own demise. With the path clear, summon in Solaire and wait for him before entering Gwyn's arena. If you watched my level 0 video, you'll know Solaire is capable of winning the fight on his own with a lot of luck, but with the ability to use items, we can pretty much guarantee him to win. Gwyn is programmed to be much more likely to use his slow swing attack when the player uses an item. In speedruns, you can take advantage of this to get an easy parry. Now the funny part about this is that you don't need to actually consume an item, and Gwyn doesn't even need to be targeting you. So if we just spam the shrug animation using the dark sign, the effect is achieved. Gwyn's most dangerous attack for Solaire is his grab, and this makes him much less likely to do it. So sit back, spam the dark sign, and relax. And there we have it, a true pacifist run of Dark Souls where we never attacked, parried, or even kicked an enemy. I hope you found this video entertaining, and I will see you guys in another video.